Doomsday 3.
We're in Doomsday 1.
No question in my mind.
He came from one of the toughest areas of Phoenix. Most of his friends,
You got people on the TV talking about it. You better get your ass to the ball. You better get to the ball. No damn. I just got to say, winning this well,
Different.
For sure, and they would have thrown it off because
and this guy gets off you.
And then I go to bed every night like. Gee, man, I promise you that. We got a special What is up, Cowboys Nation? It's your boy Mike Tag here. It's Monday, back after the weekend, and we're going to get into the weekend. Hopefully, you guys had a great weekend. Jimmy, hopefully you had a good weekend. Before we get going, make sure you guys hit that like, subscribe, share. If you're new to the channel, definitely come over and check us out on YouTube. Join the chat. We'd like to have some good times, but I'm repping my Luke records. Uncle
Nice.
Luke I'm putting the message out for everyone on Twitter, on Instagram. You let Uncle Luke know he needs to come in the cave. He's a Cowboys fan. He didn't go to AT&T. He went to the Star, and he was going to go hunt down Jerry, have a word with him about what's going on this offseason. So I'm from the 305. I grew up. Jimmy, you grew up with Luke as well.
Yes.
So
Uncle Luke.
come on it. We need to get Uncle Luke on the show. We need to get down to brass tacks and get this thing figured out, man. So other than that, how's it going, Jimmy?
It's going great. Cuts, how's it going? Ultra already starting off on a positive note.
Come on. Normal Monday.
No, exactly. No, man, I had a fun weekend. Had a great time. Actually, Sunday night or Friday night was hanging out with the Camo Piper and that crew, so that's always a good time. And the rest of the weekend was kind of chill. A lot of family time, taking care of a little family business, having fun, and then before you know it, it's Monday morning.
Well, let me just tell you, I don't know about you guys, but I'm on the opposite. I'm in late stages of 40s, so not used to like drinking a lot, doing a whole weekend thing. And this is kind of like, I know it's exciting for you. This is the dog days of the summer for me. There's really not much sports wise to get into. The draft is now over, so you got a lull. College football, you still got a few guys in the portal, maybe get some news here and there, but it's a lull. I'm not into baseball as much as I used to be. Again, basketball, I like playoffs, but I'm not really hardcore on any other team. So it's just tough. So Friday night, you guys know, I mean, I've said it a million times. I'm on the part of the 505 club. We had a little happy hour after a long week of work and kind of kick back a few beers. So I'm trying to lose weight. And so typically I'm trying to cut out the beer. And so my wife and I, we've, been working out in the morning and this and that. So she said, hey, she read where Diet Coke and lemon vodka make a good drink, 0 calories, and it's good. So you got to know. Now we go 505 for the value. It's $2 a draft beer. So typically if we get five drinks a piece or whatever we end up doing, you're out of there for $20. You're looking pretty good, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't think nothing of it. I was like, well, it's a Coke, it's a shot of vodka, whatever. I get the bill was $85. So I told my wife, back to beer. We're not doing this day. If we got to walk more miles or whatever, I'm not doing that shit again. But we ended up with 10 of them. So if you break it down, it's not that bad, but there's it goes down a lot quicker than beer does because it doesn't fill you up. So that was Friday. And then Saturday, we went to some friends' house we hadn't seen in a little while, hung out with them, and we're there, to the late hours and drinking more liquor, just start trying to stay away from the beer. And then again, it didn't get home till midnight, watched the end of the Canelo fight, this and that. And then Sunday, took the Wave Runners out, had a nice time. And then the afternoon, it was like, hey, well, there's a band playing. We had a beautiful day out. So we went up to, it's Cinco de Mayo, right? So they had some margarita specials. So I had 3 margaritas. And then I'm like, man, I better cut it back. I better switch to beer. Had about 4 or 5 beers later, got home at 7:00, passed out on the bed, and woke up the next morning at 7:30, hauling ass, so I'm not late to work. So it's a bad weekend, man. I'm still, like you probably see in my eyes, I'm drinking some water, trying to hydrate, but that was old school drinking, Jimmy. That's back in the day when we were partying. But
you know what? You're partying all night long. But I tell you, well, look, so we have Doug saying you got to cut out the beer and the bread. I'll tell you something. So a year ago, January, I went on this diet kick, right? But what I did was more of a lifestyle change, where even through all the chaos, you guys know what happened back in November, December, January. I lost 28 pounds, and I put on muscle, so it was good. I lost a lot of fat, put on muscle. But you know what? I realized if I just keep it smooth with the food during the week, right, and just dial it down, I can drink what I want on the weekends, because I don't drink all week. I don't, you know me. Well, maybe you don't know me as much lately, but in the last few years, I don't drink booze during the week. It's all off the list, right? But on the weekends, hanging out with Camel Piper the other night, I might have had a bottle of wine, 5 beers, a few shots, woke up straight as an arrow the next morning. And, but that's my weekends, right?
Yeah.
And I haven't put any pounds on. I've kept them off. So, but I couldn't.
Yeah, all of a sudden it was like the last few months I gained, like I've been 202, like Rocky, 202 for about 18 years. And all of a sudden I checked my weight and I was 215. And I, but we started working out and stuff. So I'm down to 207. So I've lost some weight, but I'm trying to get back down at least 202, 200, something like that. So I'm trying to get the beach body back. You know what I'm saying? But I do have that beer belly from the drinking. So I'm just trying to ease that up a little bit, try and walk. You want to be healthier as you get older and all that kind of stuff. And so it was,
of course.
It was tough, man. It was a tough weekend. A lot of fun. Had a lot of laughs. I mean, great people to hang out with. So there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm probably going to go back to the beers on Friday and then just cut it out. But I don't drink during the week either. We don't. I mean, my wife and I, if we have some dinner, we might have a glass of wine or something like that. But we don't drink. We don't drink. It's usually a Friday, Sunday afternoon. Saturdays I usually don't drink. But
and Chris, we appreciate it, Chris. And you know what? I'll tell you something. Doug, he drinks and the Y Ultra.
Yeah.
and Ultra's commenting on what Jimmy Dee drinks, and Ultra's got a good point. When Jesus turned water to wine, I mean, that is a signal. He's got a point.
No, hey man, I love some drink, man. Don't get me wrong. No, sometimes it's the recovery is the problem, right? The recovery. I'm not as young as I used to be, and the recovery was a lot tougher.
No, I think Doug might be drinking right now, and he says Canes in 7, but we'll get to that in just a little bit, because my Rangers are taking care of business, and Mark's going to owe me a fitted hat. We talked about this already, but Mike Tag's always been a fit, trim, 18 stone, 2 pounds. Last January it was January 23. I started at 218, and right now I'm at 189. So, and I've been, as long as I stay below that 190, I'm happy. Right, that's where I got to stay, below 190.
I would love to get in under 200. I remember one time I lost some weight and I got like the 190, 195. I don't know, man. I look too skinny. Like I got a big melon head, and my shoulder, the way my shoulders, I just don't look right. I look like a bobblehead if I don't. I gotta have some weight on me. That's the way I am. I gotta have some weight on me. So
and you're right. There's
about as far as down as I want to go.
But there are people, like I've had friends, and they go on this weight loss kick, whether it's natural or they're taking whatever the hell they take to lose their weight, and they don't look right. It's like you said. It's like, damn, they lost too much weight. They look like they're sick.
Look like they're melting.
Exactly. So, to your point, you could lose too much, and then it just doesn't look right.
Yeah.
So,
well, we gotta, this is, guys, open forum. So if there's things you want to talk about, because like I said, this is kind of like, these are those days where you press to get the shows going. But if you are hopping in, I see some new people hopping in, make sure you guys hit that subscribe. Make sure you come over to YouTube. A lot of people on X. We're obviously growing on some live streams with X and with Instagram. If you guys are following and watching on that, man, do your boys a solid. Head over to YouTube. Hit that subscribe and watch it there. Be simple, empathetic to the cause is always a nice thing you can do. But so Jimmy, I'll leave it up to you. We could talk some basketball, get kind of playoffs. And then what I did was an NFC Power Rankings that we can have some interaction with. So I'll let you Jimmy and I haven't talked all day, so he doesn't know what the rankings are. I said, we'll just do it and get the crowd, get the chat involved and see if people think I'm an idiot or if they think I'm onto something or am I being mean. But I'll let you start with it with Jimmy D. Where do you think we should go?
And to your point about everybody coming over to YouTube, we appreciate it. But also on YouTube, remember, we can't it's impossible for us to put every comment up. When you're on YouTube, which is where a lot of the people are, some of the entertainment is in the chat stream, the live chat stream, and you're missing it.
Sometimes you're more entertaining than we are.
Right. So come on over to YouTube and get the full experience.
Yeah.
So, no, you know what? Let's start. I like that the power rankings thing sounds fun. And you said NFL or NFC?
This NFC only.
Good.
We're NFC. This is an NFC, kind of show. So let me fix some stuff to make sure we get that right. And we'll get this over here. So let me put this to the stage. There we go.
All right.
Can you see that good? Is that good? Okay.
Yeah. Can you see anything?
And you're seeing it. All right. So here we go. Power rankings. So I only did top 8. So it's basically 7 make the playoffs. So you're kind of like you get that on the cusp team. And Jimmy, I'll let you and in the chat, definitely want your opinion. I put the Chicago Bears number 8. Now, obviously, they got Caleb Williams in the draft, number 1. They got a receiver. They made some moves in free agency. They always have a solid defense. Minnesota's losing Cousins. Maybe some things shake out in their division. What are they in the NFC North? So I got the Bears 8. What do you say? And what do you guys say in the chat? Is that too high, too low? What do you guys think? A lot of people are high on the Bears as a sleeper team.
No, you know what? The question mark with them, as always, is quarterback. It seems the quarterback goes there and something goes wrong. But hey, they got Swift, they got Keenan out. They have weapons. The question is, what happens with the quarterback? I don't know what it is, but something goes wrong with a quarterback every time they land up in Chicago.
Yeah.
So, but I would agree. 8, 9. I agree with you.
Okay, so that's where we got the Bears. And I mean, you think of the teams that could be on the cusp under there. Obviously, you got Minnesota. We won't give them all away, but there's a couple NFC East teams that maybe if you believe in that. And again, thanks to Michael. He said he switched over from X to YouTube.
Thank you, Michael.
Thanks for doing that, Michael,
yes.
Man. Definitely appreciate the love. So we go to number 7. Number 7, I got the LA Rams. Obviously, you got Stafford. I mean, a great coach. They lose Aaron Donald, so I don't know how that works. But you got Puka at receiver. You still got the weapons. So I had them 7. I got them 7. What do you guys say in the chat, and what do you guys say, Jimmy?
It's crazy. We must have ESP or something because I have to agree with that one too. Like you said, they have offensive weapens, and they're going to be back next year. So yeah.
Okay.
What about the chat? I see. Oh, no argument.
All right. So far, I see seeing eye to eye.
I see where Ultra listed everybody. We'll get to. Do you want me to put his up right?
We'll get to that comment.
Okay.
Number 6, I have the Atlanta Falcons. They got the offense. I'm not crazy about the coach. That's my X factor really with the Falcons. I did not like the coach hire that they had, but we'll give them a chance. Sometimes when the coaches get that second go around, they learn from some of their mistakes. He obviously was in Tampa. He wasn't in the best situation in Tampa, so I don't want to throw all that on him. They got the weapons. You get Kirk Cousins. You obviously got Bijan. You got the running game. You got those guys. You got the receivers. You got the tight end. The defense is something obviously that see how they perform. But I think they're one of those teams that did make the playoffs last year that is going to be one of those teams that you're going to see in the dance next year.
Yeah, I know, and obviously, look, I'm a homer, but I to me, there's 6 or 5 interchangeable. Yeah. Let's see, let's see how Kirk Cousins comes back from injury. I agree. The offensive weapons are there. We picked up Mooney and Moore on to help out Drake London. We got Pitts. The edge I worry about a little bit, because obviously it's all draft picks. We went with Penix, and that's fine. I'm happy with that. I don't argue with that. But we still have to see what happens on edge because right now we don't have any veterans re-signed from last year. Calais Campbell still ain't signed, and
I'm hoping he comes to Dallas. I need a guy.
I know you do.
Team. I've been bitching about it. So
Yeah.
But no, a lot of people are high on Atlanta, and I think they should be. I think Kirk Cousins is but he's that Dak Prescott, right? It's like you got to see it in the playoffs. He's another one where you're seeing the regular season, the numbers are great, but when it comes to playoff time, it hasn't worked out the best for him for whatever reason. So,
see, and that's where I agree with Michael right there. I think he's going to open it up, assuming the Achilles, and he looked good the other day. They were doing some OTA. He looked really good.
And the best thing that could have happened to him is them drafting Penix. Maybe that little competition lights a fire under him as well. So number five, I go with the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys, number 5. They still got a lot of talent. They still got their Pro Bowlers. Did not make a lot of moves in the offseason. So I have them slipping, right? So you got them slipping down. But I still think they're going to be formidable. They still have, one of the top quarterbacks in the NFC. They still got Micah Parsons. They still got CeeDee Lamb. They still got Diggs. They still got Bland. There's still a lot of weapons for them. But I think they're going to be one of those teams that this is going to be one of those years. It's either going to boost them up, or you could see some trouble brewing in Dallas if they get off to a weird start and some turmoil, and you got the coach on a 1-year deal. You got Prescott. So, I mean, what's your thoughts, where Dallas is right there?
Well, it depends on who you have in number 4, but I can plausibly say I see Dallas at 4, but I'm going to see who you put at 4 to see if I agree with this one. But, again, the running back situation in Dallas is an issue. I think we all know that. But, if you have a repeat performance with Dak Prescott playing like that and then get over that hump in the playoffs, get over that mental block or whatever it is, yes.
Yeah. I think the problem, the reason I have Dallas 5 is I'm just concerned here. I'm just going to be the reality of it is their success is going to be driven by their running game. And right now it's Zeke and everybody else. And I don't know. Zeke's not the Zeke of old. I think Zeke is going to be effective. I think he's going to play a big part in pass protection, short yardage, goal line, all the things that kind of hurt them last year. I think he could fit, but I don't know who their other running backs are going to be. Right now they got a bunch of just guys. And now you saw, Najee Harris are talking about. I mean, Pittsburgh, unless I'm missing something, I don't know if their running back room is all that great that they'd want to dump a running back or trade a running back. So I just don't see that being factual. Jane Slater came out and said that she's heard nothing about it, and it's probably clickbait. So I just don't know. It's a lot. Rico could be the guy. It's just unknown. And when you got unknowns, it makes you a little bit concerned. And I hope that I hope my concerns are going to be put to rest. But if I'm being objective, and that's what, right down the middle, I can't be biased. I've got to put them 5. That puts Philly at 4. And my reason, and I want to get your reason, Jimmy. Let me give mine and you give me your argument. The thing with Philly, I like what they've done in the offseason. And hear me out on this. No distraction. They re-sign AJ. They get DeVonta Smith. They handle that issue at running game. They go get Saquon Barkley. See how that works out. They made their moves. They re-signed one of their offensive linemen. They have had a quiet offseason, but effective. In the draft, they get what appears potentially one of the top cornerbacks falls to them, addressing needs for them in the draft. And they had a really good draft with a lot of picks. So on paper, the Eagles have had a pretty good offseason. If I'm going to lay it on the line right now, I mean, and again, I could flip it. I still think Dallas is going to be better when said and done. But I'm talking today, as we sit here today, they've had a better off season to address areas of weakness. So I've got to put them slightly ahead of Dallas. What do you say?
All right, so Ultra says Cowboys are better than Eagles. They just rank Cowboys defense as 3. What I think is this: look, they lost a big piece of their offensive line with Kelsey. I think it hurts, and I think we've talked about this before. I don't think that I think he's overrated. I'm sorry, he's never won. The big games that he's won have been in situations where the other team was weak. Right?
No, I agree.
Beat up teams. Okay. And that being said, I do agree that every year they go out and they sign people. They're addressing their situations. I just don't think that I don't see it. And I don't see Barkley. Barkley's going to come in and play well, but I don't think he's a difference maker. And I don't think Jalen Hurts is all that. And look how they played down the stretch last year. a lot of distractions that they shouldn't have had.
Yeah, I think a couple things to your point. Kellen Moore, I don't know. I think that's going to be a disaster for them as offensive coordinator. So again, this is early. We haven't, it ain't even training camp. So this is just something we're filling time and trying to make some conversation. But so I got Philly 4. So I got Philly 4.
And we have Doug with the thumbs down. And Michael, you're right. Philly is aggressive every offseason. They make the moves that, whether they're right or wrong, they make moves. They don't just sit there, twiddling their thumbs, or, they don't come out of the bathroom with just their dick in their hands. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So that's it. I mean, like I said, you could split wherever way you want. You could split it. Number 3, I put the Green Bay Packers. I mean, I cannot get over what I saw. Thankfully, I wasn't Doug and had to witness it with my own eyes. I was able to see it on TV so I could change the channel whenever I got sick to my stomach. But what they did to Dallas, what they've done when you thought it was going to be a rebuilding year, that they've been able to get in the playoffs. They beat the hell out of Dallas. Give credit where credit's due. They had San Francisco on the ropes at San Francisco. The key is going to be, can they repeat this, right? You lose, Aaron Jones, but they get running back. So, I mean, they were aggressive in free agency strategically and this and that. They got a good coach. He's been proven to be able to win without Aaron Rodgers. So right now, if I'm looking at the way things are, I've got to put Green Bay at number 3.
See, I would have had the Eagles below Dallas, in between Dallas and Atlanta. I might have had Detroit at that number 3, and Green Bay at 2.
Okay, and that's a fair. That'd be a fair argument. And I wouldn't argue it. I mean, I think if you look between 1, maybe, you could say, I don't want to say 1 and 5, but maybe like 2 and 5, 3 and 5, you can kind of mix, you could probably mix things up to what your flavor is going to be. You know what I mean? So, but that's, and maybe Jordan Love is going to be brought back down to reality. Maybe he is. Say I can make the argument with CJ Stroud too. A lot of hype on, and maybe we'll do the AFC another time, but I mean, a lot of hype on him. But I've seen these quarterbacks have this great, out of nowhere year, and then they end up gone in purgatory somewhere. So it remains to be seen. The thing I think what is kind of good with Love, and maybe you're going to see that with Penix, is he sat behind an all-pro. He sat behind a future Hall of Famer. He sat behind a quarterback without the pressure and really got a grasp of the offense. He got a grasp of everything, because he did look like a different player than what you saw when he had spot duty and, early on in the season when he was going as well.
But when I said Detroit too, just like, what Ultra's saying is Jordan Love back to reality, I say with Detroit, do they come back to reality? Do they recover? And I don't know who your number 2 is. I'm just saying, if it is Detroit, do they, after that heartbreaking loss to San Francisco because of stupid high school play calling, do they come back from that?
And that's the thing. Like, so I have Detroit too. They had San Francisco dead to rights and they blew it. And will they recover from that? Goff, I'm not a huge fan of Goff, but man, he's efficient and effective, and he plays well. They got the running game, right? You got Gibbs, you got the other kid, was it Montgomery? They got the receiver. They got a really potent offense. They got the tight end. I mean, they've got a potent offense. They made some moves as well. Their defense played well. So I've got to see. I got to think Detroit is number 2 right now, because I don't think any team jumped them. I mean, they made it to the NFC Championship game. No other team below them had an outstanding just to leapfrog them. So that's why I got Detroit too.
Okay. And like you said, when you get to this stage, it's kind of interchangeable.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Okay.
No, I mean, you could, but I mean, goes without saying. It pains me to say it, but going into, if we're looking at it today, the number 1 team in the NFC, they were in the Super Bowl. It's got to be the San Francisco 49ers. Obviously, they got the weapons on offense. You got the best running back. You probably got the best wide receiver tandem, if not one of the best. Let's just say that. Obviously, Kittle. They're loaded there.
Yes.
They got the defense. I mean, they're still going to be a team to reckon with for the NFC. next season, barring any catastrophic injuries, things like that. It's going to be interesting with Ayuk, how they work that out. I guess they're going to work it through, but then they end up getting, he's from Florida, so I don't think he's going to be any good, but they end up getting a wide receiver in the first round that it could just be another weapon, for the 49ers offense.
Well, and I'm going to put up, because, we had Ultra actually list his entire list of who he thought, and it's actually pretty close.
He has the Buccaneers over the Cowboys, basically. So
which
I've got the Cowboys in the top 8. He's got the Buccaneers. And the only thing that worries me about Tampa is their quarterback, Mayfield. I mean, he's a gritty guy. I mean, he's fun to watch. Mike Evans is getting a year older. You got Godwin that just he's like, he reminds me of Gallup sometimes, always with an injury. So is he going to stay healthy? Not a great running game. Defense is okay. Not outstanding by any stretch, but they're playing in the South. They're playing in the South where you got New Orleans, where you don't know kind of where they're going to be. Carolina is going to be bad. So it's really Atlanta and Tampa probably going to be, I think, would be battling it out for the division title.
And Michael, he hates the Niners. They're really good. Yeah, they lost a few players, but I agree. I think right now they're the cream of the crop of the NFC. And hey, I'm a Brock Purdy shield, but
hey, what did a wise man once say, Jimmy? Do you know
what?
What did the nature boy always say?
To be the man, you got to beat the man.
I mean, and you're the man. I mean, unless a team had just an unbelievable draft, free agency, and just loaded up, how do you not have San Francisco number 1 in the power rankings right now? And that's all this is, power rankings. Go look at the power rankings from beginning of the year and last year, and I guarantee you there's a bunch of teams that were probably near the bottom that ended up in the playoffs. It gives you something to do, and it sparks some conversation. But this is what you got to go with. And I agree. I think our defense under Mike Zimmer is going to be night and day. It's going to be night and day. But I haven't seen it yet. So you got to see it to believe it. So until it's there, I got to see it. So right now, they lost a lot of guys. You've got a lot of guys. As much as people like Armstrong finally left, you got to replace those sacks. You got to replace those sacks. A lot of people, Hankins, and again, I don't mind Hankins leaving, but we didn't get a big body to replace him. So, I mean, there's things that the Cowboys lost that they didn't replace. That's the part that just has me a little concerned. Now, it could be addition by subtraction. It could bring some young, hungry guys in there and maybe, get some competitive fires and some youth in there. That may work wonders for him, and I hope it does.
What's up, Steven? Yeah, to your point about the Buccaneer, Baker Mayfield, he's another question mark. Jordan Love is obviously in another tier, another stratosphere compared to Baker Mayfield, but Mayfield played great last year. I would have taken him on the Falcons last year.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh no, he played phenomenal. He was, he whooped the Eagles' ass. So I'm indebted to him because he saved a lot of face from us. If we obviously got embarrassed and then they would have won, oh my God, we never would have heard the end of it from Eagles fans. That's the only thing that saved us. Eagles fans got to kind of shut their mouths because they got embarrassed by Tampa Bay. So
they got embarrassed by the security guard, whatever his name is, Big Sal or whatever that Big Guido's name was. But Mayfield, again, I'm not ripping on him, but can he repeat what he did last year?
Yeah.
Being an NFC South guy, I hope not.
No.
Steven, what's up?
I don't, I'm not a huge fan of the Bucs coach either. He's so mellow, quiet, and I'm just always a fan. I need a coach to get in your ass. I mean, that's just not literally, but
whoa, all right.
I need a coach that's got some fire. That's how the coaches I always liked, and that's a hard thing with even McCarthy. McCarthy does it that you don't see it. Like I got a different appreciation for Mike McCarthy after Hard Knocks or whatever it was. Maybe when Hard Knocks was in the middle of the season, whatever it was that they did on the Cowboys. It was Hard Knocks because the middle of the season was Garrett. I got a better appreciation of McCarthy because you heard, kind of way he spoke to the team and the way he handle his business. I appreciated that. So it made me appreciate him a little more. With God, I'm forgetting the coach's name. He was on the Cowboys, the coach for the Bucks. I mean, he comes from that Bill Parcells kind of tree.
Yeah.
So he's a good coach, but he's just so nice. And but Todd Dungy was really nice. He won a Super Bowl. So.
Yeah, and he was always at the rally. Hey, Doug, I think Mike wants a coach who's likes tossed salad.
Did I tell you that story with the tossed salad? I was my brother and I go to the Salad Express. I'm on a diet.
Yeah.
And we go and they chop your salad or they'll mix it up for you. This, that. So we're sitting there and the lady goes, my brother and I sit and she goes, would you guys like to get your salad tossed? Like, look, I was like, I said, there's got to be a camera. Either she's that like kind of naive or there was a camera there. So I don't know what it was, but man, I everything not to just bust out laughing. Right in their face. But
I didn't know that Mike Tag hung out at those kinds of places.
I know.
Oh gosh, a few other. Sorry.
You know what I love is Ultra. He's got to be hot and cold or something. And I love Ultra. So if Ultra don't get all offended and start yelling at me. But Cowboys have no holes. People just love names. But he also says Cowboys stink. That was the first thing he said. Like he said they stink. He said he doesn't even have them in their top 8 of their power rank because he has the Buccaneers ahead of him. Well, I mean, then they got a lot of holes.
Sounds like a good movie.
I don't know what the hell's going on. Man. I love Ultra, but shit, man, stay consistent with what you say. You said that Dallas sucks. I want you to stand by that. I want you to be passionate that the Cowboys suck. Don't lose that intensity. You support your decision, and I want to hear that all year long. I don't want you coming flip-flopping around and telling me the Cowboys are great again. I want you to tell me they suck. That's what I don't. That's what we need.
None of that flim-flam around here in the cave. Hey, did you see? Speaking of NFL, did you see and the Cowboys? Micah Parsons over in Tokyo this past week.
I saw I saw him doing some sumo wrestling.
Yes,
CJ Stroud was there too.
And did you see CJ? Well, speaking of CJ Stroud, you see him? They were all posing with the sumo wrestlers. Parsons with his shirt off versus Stroud with his shirt.
Yeah. Well, and Parsons was a state champ. I believe he won states. If not, he was up there. But he was a state, high school wrestler.
See, it's funny. It's amateur
wrestling. He never went professional.
He didn't go, but he went to professional football. I guess that's a good close second. But not only did he do that sumo wrestling thing, he threw out the first pitch at one of the, I don't know, the Giants or the Dodgers, whatever it is over there. Yeah. He threw out the first pitch, so it's pretty cool.
What are they doing there? What is is it promotional football? Is that what they're trying to do? Football overseas?
No clue. To be honest with you, I just happened to see it. I didn't read too much into it. Oh, look at this. Ultra, you were stationed in Japan and got to see a sumo wrestling. Fun time. Did they have a good?
It looks pretty intense. It looks pretty intense. I would not want to. You saw the dude throw Parsons. He threw him pretty good. But Parsons held his own a little bit. He held his own.
Slight weight advantage.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. So,
all right, they're promoting football in Japan.
All right, there we go.
Yeah, that's cool. That's always good.
Yeah, Ultra. We definitely appreciate Ultra. Thanks for your service.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes,
absolutely.
But so we saw that, and also OBJ signs with the Dolphins.
I know, and that people in Miami are happy, but isn't that kind of like a who cares signing by now?
Exactly. That's my point. We know a lot of some friends of ours who are Dolphins fans, and they're all about it. And I'm like, that's to me is not a big deal, right?
No,
he's hurt all the time. Yeah, it's what we call a has been.
Exactly. He's a has been. With all fairness, it shouldn't be allowed on the football field.
Right. So, and what's the other? So we had that. We had, and I don't know how deep we want to get into this one because I know it's a sensitive topic. But Michael Irvin, they officially canned him from the NFL Network after all those years.
Well, not only that, which they got rid of total access. I thought they said they're. So what is their shows? Like, what are they doing? Because they used to have total access at 7 p.m. Eastern. That was kind of like your sports center for just football, for lack of a better word.
Yes.
So I don't know if they're redoing the program. If they are, I mean, the Cowboys Cave. I mean, we have some time available. If there's a slot in there, you need us to, give you guys some great programming at the NFL Network, and give me a call. Call collect. You can't put a coin in the box, but give us a call and we'll figure it out. I don't know. Like I like Michael Irvin on the morning show, and I thought he did well. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. ESPN buying NFL Network. That'd be a travesty. That would be.
I hope not.
I hope not. They will ruin that. Yeah, I hope that's not.
It's crazy. And I wonder, I don't know. And I don't know what media group owns this, that, or the other thing, but I'm sitting here. I read something else today having nothing to do with sports. But that guy on the Weather Channel, that Mike Seidel, he's always at all the hurricane, when the hurricane's hitting the south.
Yeah.
He's at all the snowstorms up here. He got canned.
Did he really?
So all these kind of big name guys on these, big networks are getting canned. So I don't know if they're all owned by the same conglomerate and they're, trying to save money. I don't know what it is, but
I think it's the people like the Cowboys Cave, like Mark Holmes, like Law Nation, like all that. All these great content creators on YouTube are taking over. And now people are tired of the bullshit that they get on network television and they're, from these sports people, and they're done with ESPN. They're done with NFL Network. I mean, it's all turned into either, and again, I'm not going to get into politics, but it's always some sort of political stance. It's always some agenda. You know what? I just want to watch some sports. I want some highlights. I want to have some fun. The reason I go to NFL Network, the reason I go to ESPN is to get away from all the bullshit that you have to watch on these other channels. You want to get away from it, but you've got, and you're going to get me off on a tangent. I probably should shut up, but you've got the South Carolina woman's, head coach who's preparing to play her team play in the final, in the finals in women's basketball. And the first question they ask her is, what are your thoughts of transgender being able to play in the WNBA or whatever like that? That has no place. That's not the time and place to have that discussion. And it shouldn't even be. And I'll go on record. There shouldn't be. There's women's sports. There's men's sports. If they want to create a separate sport for transgender, that's fine. And have a separate, a sport for that. Have a category, for lack of a better word. But my daughter plays sports, and I would be absolutely livid. She plays flag football. And if they had a boy on the other side and he brought harm to her, it wouldn't end well. No. I'm just being honest. I mean, that's just not. There's men and women are built different. We had the same with wrestling. When I wrestled in high school, they didn't have a woman's, girls team. Now they do. They have a girls team and a boys team, and it's very. I mean, and I'll just say this: girls high school sports is more competitive than the boys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like flag football. I go to those girls flag football. I mean, it is intense. You go to girls, volleyball or any of that. I mean, it's soccer. I mean, it's competitive. So I think it's terrible. But why do you have to bring that up in all these news?
It's not, and it's not the form to bring it up in, right? Like you said, I didn't watch much of I don't watch college sports. You guys know that, or most of you know that. But again, that's stupid. If I'm sitting there watching, I'm saying, how you preparing for the game? What's going on? Those are the questions you ask.
That's what they throw them with. The coaches shouldn't have to be put up in a corner and have to answer this crap. You know what I mean? Let your athletic directors and do that. The coaches need to focus on winning the game, preparing the game, and doing all this and that. But that's what ESPN has turned into. I hope at NFL Network, I haven't seen it kind of get there, but it's getting there. It's getting there, and it's disappointing. That's why I love. A lot of the content creators. That's what I watch now for even interviews and stuff. I'll watch YouTube and just watch my interviews and stuff like that.
Well, Ultra thinks that LeBron's going to go play in the WNBA. I don't know if that might have seen that in the rumor mill.
Hey, he's probably trying to win some championships to even up with Michael Jordan. So he's going to go to he figured that maybe those will count as champions.
Michael Wemby's going to win Rookie of the Year. I'll tell you what, I think you're going to have Devin Booker joining him next year, but that's another story. We'll see. Phoenix is dismantling, and we'll see who ends up with Wemby next year.
Is Durant still on Phoenix?
Yeah, you know what? I tell you, that guy has screwed over so many teams. he's making bank every year, and he's always a disappointment. And it's he's and they got knocked out. So
yeah. Well, hey, and where the women activists are, Ultra's acid. Riley, the swimmer. I don't know if you follow her.
Gaines.
Yeah,
Right,
she's one of those that are trying to. She's fighting for women's rights in athletics and sports, because a lot of with Title IX and a lot of this. I mean, that's it's hurting them. Get their scholarships and this and that. Well, someone posted a picture of her. It was probably one of the best comments I've ever seen. They posted a picture of her, and she's a swimmer, and she's got a six-pack. I mean, she is physically fit. I mean, just, she's physically fit. So they post a picture of her, and they say something to the effect of women shouldn't have abs, like saying that she's a man, accusing her of being a man. And she said, well, I didn't know when abs started to insinuate that women are men, but a penis doesn't. Like something that I know I butchered it, something to that effect. But man, when she said that, I fell off, man. I was like, dude, she's awesome. She don't take no shit. She don't take no shit about it. So it's funny. And again, it's not a political thing. It's right and wrong. I mean, does it feel right? You know what I mean? Does it sound right? It's like, you wouldn't want a man going into a woman's, you know what I mean? It's just, I just don't, I'm just not it bothers me. It bothers me because I know there's a lot of great women athletes out there, and it's not fair. It's not fair because as much as no one wants something, well, most people know, but there's a small percentage that don't, is the men and women are built differently, strength-wise and everything to that like that. It's common sense. And you can never tell me that a grown man and a grown woman have the same muscle tone and this and that and everything that goes with it.
Well, especially when Jimmy Dee's got the largest arms in the world.
24-inch pythons.
Hey, I never thought in the cave we'd hear salad tossing and penis on the same program.
I apologize. This is what happens when you don't have a lot to talk about, with sports being a little quiet and you have
quiet.
Well, for me it is. That's what I say. For me, it's quiet. So let's go on to you, Jimmy D. You got the Knicks. You got the Rangers.
Oh, yes.
Give us what is going on in basketball right now. We got a couple games tonight. You guys are playing the Pacers.
Yes.
You got Denver, Minnesota, Dallas. Did they move on? I mean, let's give the people an update of what the hell's going on in basketball.
So let's start with my Knicks, who play tonight. You know what? It's going to be, I think that, it's not going to be, first of all, I thought we should have taken care of business against the 76ers sooner than that. Embiid, he played hurt, and I'll give him a lot of credit. And they just played very well. They played gritty, but we came out, we took care of our business, took them in 6. I think we're going to take Indiana in 6. I mean, obviously Tyrese Halliburton is a hell of a player, but Miles Turner ain't doing nothing against us because Hartenstein's going to put him on lockdown. Mitchell Robinson is going to put him on lockdown too. So I think we take the Pacers in 6, my opinion. I'm intrigued with this, with Joker, with Denver, who's at Denver, and they play Minnesota, because Minnesota has 3 big guys, right? Joker had trouble with him in the first game. So I don't know how that's going to look. Anthony Edwards is the real deal. Brunson, okay, so Brunson, to your point, Michael, hold on one second. To your point, Michael, Brunson is looking good, but what bothered me a little bit is in games 5 and 6 against Philly, he was trying to take too much on his shoulders. He was taking some wild shots late in the game. And again, he brought us here. He's the best player on the team, one of the best players in the league. But some of the shot selection he took, some wild shots, some out of control shots, he was trying to force it a little bit too much. So that being said, love Brunson, but he needs to we got a good surrounding cast. We got OG. We got a lot of players. DiVincenzo, dish it out. Spread the ball around. Don't take it all on your shoulders. And he's going to take less abuse on his body. But yes, I love Brunson. Denver, I think Denver inevitably wins that series. But, Towns and Riddy and Gobert, those are 3 big guys that Joker's going up against. That's not easy. Right? So I don't know. Then you got the
I can't
Celtics.
believe OKC is the number 1 seed, man. I thought they sucked all them years.
No,
Yeah.
no. It's funny how things just flip, right? I mean,
Yeah.
but I think you're going to look at Denver coming out of the West, Boston and the Cavaliers. This is intriguing because Boston ended up beating a very beat up Heat team.
Yeah, that wasn't even fair. That's right. I told Mark, I said, man, you're pumping your chest out. Fine. I know the Heat's owned Boston for a number of years, but they're missing 2 of their guys. I mean, that wasn't even fair.
No, and Kelly says T-Wolves in 6. Chris Hollins, Minnesota can win that series. I agree. And I agree with that, just based on, like I said, they got 3 big guys who can go up against Jokic. But we got Mavs in 7. Yeah, I agree with that. It will be Mavs in 7.
You think Mavs are going to Mavs in 7? That's good.
Yeah.
I'm happy for Dallas.
Yeah, very, very proud of you. But,
I just did it because OKC is the number 1 seed. So are they a fraud?
No, they're not a fraud. It's just, here's what I see. I see Denver. I don't see anybody. I see Jokic not breezing through. I see them winning. I see them beating Minnesota. I see them making it to the finals out of the West. Here's where it's funny, where you guys are going to say I'm a homer or whatever else. But Boston will likely, even without Porzingis is hurt. Remember, he's a 20-point-a-game guy. I still think they end up beating Cleveland. All right. Now, that being said, because look, Boston, they beat up a Miami team that was hurt. Miami ended up winning a game.
Yeah.
Look at it. But even without Porzingis, I think Boston wins. I think it's obviously Boston, New York. And I think it would be in that scenario, barring a major injury, the Knicks win that in 7. So I see the Knicks and Denver in the finals.
Oh.
But yeah, okay, Kelly, and he's right. Okay, they're a young team. They're a little inexperienced, right? And Ultra's saying the same thing. And I have to agree. I have to agree on that. So
he's big and he's tall, but he's clumsy.
So that's what I'm seeing with basketball right now. And anything can happen, like you said. Not hopefully it doesn't happen, but one bad injury to whomever, and anything can happen.
Yeah, it's crazy, because if you would have told me, hey, pick the finals, like, you know what I mean? Pick who's in the finals. I would have never, like, even in the playoffs. OKC, I thought sucked. Minnesota, I wouldn't think was any good. Denver, obviously, I remember, but I would have thought Cleveland, I would have never picked. I would have thought, all right, well, give me Golden State and give me, the Phoenix, give me the usual suspects. But it's crazy how basketball kind of is flipped over the years, and some of these teams that were the scrub teams are now on top.
And to Kelly's point, he's room for the Knicks, and you know what? The thing is, the Knicks don't have deep playoff experience. So besides OG when he played for Toronto, we do not have deep. So that could be an issue. But I still think we take Boston in the East.
Yeah,
that's where I'm at with that. So.
And where are we with the hockey, the Panthers or the Panthers?
Well, I did before. While we're on basketball, I want to get on one thing. I don't know if anybody saw this on social media. Jimmy Butler put up something, and I don't know what he was drinking or what he was on, but he went on like.
Did he have straight hair? Did he do that when he did it? No.
He had straight hair. He went off on Tibbs, who's the Knicks coach, and then he was ripping on Josh Hart, one of our forwards, and I'm like, what the hell is he doing? And he said, who the F is Josh Hart? And I love Tibbs, but I want to kill him. I'm like, what? This was like
going on?
That's a good question, and Ultra. So I don't know, but I don't know if anybody else saw that. It was bizarre. And again, I don't know where he was going with that, but it was a video that was on social media this past weekend. Devin Booker would be a perfect Nick. I don't know who we're going to trade for him, though. I mean, maybe Randall Mitchell Robinson. I don't know. There's nobody else I'd want to part with right now. Jimmy, go Knicks. Yeah. And then, like I said, Chris, I appreciate
I don't know any of those guys, so I'm just listening to you, Jimmy.
Yeah, no, that's
this field.
Jimmy Butler's the perfect troll. That's Antonio Brown. He's a perfect troll. But no, now you want to switch to hockey. Now, I was asked on X while I was being verbally abused by Doug and Mark, calling out my Rangers. All right, now first of all, let's start with that game, okay? Because you guys came into New York and it was a 1-goal game. The first goal was a fluke. Your guys' second goal was legit. The third goal was an empty netter. So out of the 3 goals that Kane scored on us yesterday, you had a fluke and an empty netter. So I don't want to hear any of that crap. It's going to be the Rangers in either 5 or 6 against Carolina. We're going to take care of our business. We got the goaltending. Freddie Anderson on care. I said it a couple weeks ago. You made it through the first round. Big deal. Who'd you beat? The Islanders? Whatever. Give me a break. They suck. Freddie Anderson cannot bring that team through a playoff series. And anybody who watches hockey knows you could have a goaltender that you can hang your hat on. That's the way. That's the way it goes. So I think it'll be the Rangers in 5 or 6. The team I fear right now the most is the Florida Panthers. Mm-hmm. They have goaltending. They're gritty. They're fast. They can fight. They're strong. They are the best all-around team right now. That's the only team that scares me. And the only thing I can say is that with our goaltending and the Rangers, Mike, we score goals quick, right? We're that's the way we come in 2
come in hot.
Come in hot, exactly. I could see the Rangers going to the Stanley Cup Finals. Vince, I agree with that. Mika is the Panthers' assassin. I love that, Ultra. Yes, Mika took care of his business. What about
the Dallas Stars? Because Kelly has a vested interest in the Dallas Stars. Some people are big fans, and you want to make a woman happy. You got to make sure the Dallas Stars are doing well. So what are we thinking about the Dallas Stars? Is it going to be a happy place for Kelly or
yes?
What?
Yes, it will be. And here's why. Somebody asked me in the midst of everything, Bugsy on X last night said, asked Mark and Doug and I, who's going to win the East, who's going to win the West. And I said, wait till the end of Game 7 last night to see who's going to come out of the West. Because as far as I was concerned, the team coming out of the West was the team that was going to be, whoever won Game 7 of Dallas Vegas last night. So I predict it's going to be it's going to be the Stars and the Rangers. It's going to be Dallas versus New York in the Stanley Cup Finals, my opinion. They have a goal, Dallas has scoring. They have a goaltender that can take them through the playoffs. So that's where I'm at. And consider this. Dallas was down 2-0 against Vegas, a team that was, you talk about the NFL playing games with the cap. The Vegas has figured out a way to manipulate the cap using the long-term injury reserve and all this nonsense.
Well, can we have them? Can we have whoever's doing that come to the Cowboys to help us out?
Yeah, right. I'm telling you, man, they figured it out, and that needs to be addressed in the offseason. But I actually watched my first hockey game from start to finish. Stars, great game, 7. That was a great game. I stayed up for that one last night, and it was a hell of a game.
And I tell you what, Kelly, and any Cowboy fan, depending on when we go, and we're going to have our Cowboys Cave tailgate party and all that kind of stuff. But if Jimmy and I were able to do it when the Cowboys played, was it last season or the season before? I can't remember. The Bears. Season before, we went to a Dallas Stars game. What a great atmosphere. What a lot of fun. I mean, live hockey, and I'm a diehard football fan, but I will tell you this. Hockey live is the best sport. The TV doesn't do it justice. It is a made to be live sport. So we had a lot of fun.
You know what, Ultra? I do have a Ron Duguay doll. You're right about that. I got the bobblehead when he was wearing his Jordache. But anyways, Kelly, I'm glad you had fun. That was a great game last night. And like I said, the Dallas came back down 2-0 in that series against a team that, again, played the system. They brought guys back who were gone part of the season, Mark Stone being one of them. And again, they're the team to beat in the West.
Yeah. And one more thing as we get rolling and start to wrap it up, make sure all you guys first get over to YouTube and make sure you hit that subscribe and like. But more importantly, Uncle Luke was down at the Star looking for Jerry Jones. You guys know I'm from the 305. I grew up with 2 Live Crew, Luke and all that, Luke Skywalker, all that good stuff. So we need to get Luke on this show, and we need to find out. He's a Cowboys fan. We need to get his opinion on what's going on with these Cowboys. So I'm gonna put the word out. I already got the word on the street down in Liberty City. I got my peeps kind of surveying the land, making sure Uncle Luke knows what's up. Get him in the cave because that'll be a lot of fun. Plus, we'll talk about some old times, maybe a Pack Jam and some 2 Live Crew, Poison Clan, JT Money, all the good stuff with Miami Bass.
Old school. That's right.
Mix it up a little bit. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun.
You know what I meant to ask you? So we had the 150th Kentucky Derby this week, and I'm surprised we didn't see Uncle Cheech come out.
You know, I
predictions.
screwed up. I did not. I talked to Uncle Cheech. I did not even think that the Kentucky Derby was that week. So shame on me. And you had the Canelo fight. So I had, there should have been a reason for Uncle Cheech to come on. So I apologize. I should have had him get on there. But he's already committed. He's committed to the Tyson fight, Tyson Paul. He's going to come on. He's going to break down the fight for you a little bit. It's at AT&T. It's going to be a lot of fun. So we're definitely going to get that with Uncle Cheech. But yeah, the Kentucky Derby. I want to go to the Kentucky Derby. That's a bucket list. I want to wear the funny suits. I want my wife to get the hat. I want the whole Kentucky Derby experience. So that's something that I've got to get to. I don't know about you, Jimmy. I don't know if that's somewhere you want to go. Been?
That'd be fun.
It'd be a lot of fun, right?
Yes, it'd be very interesting and lots of fun.
Walk around with high society, you know what I'm saying? Get the cane, and you have all the top hat and everything.
I think Ultra might be wearing one of those funny hats too. I don't think he'd be wearing the suit, but what if you'd have that? Oh, my hat!
If you're like, remember a Living Color with that little hat?
Yeah. Now, what's that? There's a mint julep. What do they drink?
Julep. I looked up. Okay. I was gonna make some mint juleps, and I'm not a bourbon. I'm not a huge I like bourbon, but the way they had made it's like bourbon, simple syrup, some mint, in there and whatever. But I'll have one if I go there. I'll definitely try it. But the funniest is we were watching it, and a friend of ours, their friends were there, and they were going through the pictures. And the first picture I saw, they got the picture. Because, man, trying to figure out who they got a picture with. They must be famous. I said, man, that's Smokey Robinson. And my God, the plastic surgery and everything. But it definitely was Smokey Robinson. Got a picture of Smokey. I mean, so many celebrities. I mean, Emmett Smith always goes out there. Yeah. I mean, it is a who's who. And they're just mingling, amongst the crowd. So it would be a lot of fun.
They have 1 million people. It's crazy how many people show up for that. They got.
Elton remembers that show. He remembers that show. Not many people got that joke. At least someone did.
Yes.
Go ahead, Jimmy.
No, we got to get Uncle Cheech on not only for the Tyson fight, but for the Preakness and the Belmont too.
Yeah, maybe we'll have him do that, have him preview that a little bit, and have some fun with it. And the other thing I was going to touch on, I don't know, I saw a little bit of it, so I didn't want to have a full kind of segment on it, but Michael brought it up, is the Brady roast. Did you see any of it?
No, I heard. No, I saw a couple clips.
They absolutely annihilate. I mean, some of the stuff they said was like, damn, man, he had to be cool with it. I mean, about his, the wife he left, or not even his wife. I don't even think it was his wife. The first one he got pregnant. His girlfriend got pregnant and left her while she was pregnant. I mean, Nikki Glazer brought that up, and then they were just ragging the shit out of him. And then I saw Kelly get into it with someone because I guess they were making some jokes about Aaron Hernandez. And this, we're talking about a guy who murdered people. And I guess his girlfriend, the mother of his child, came out and didn't appreciate them, bashing him, and daughter has to see that. But I mean, the guy did murder a few people, though. I mean, I don't know.
How
much sympathy you're gonna have for the guy? I have zero.
No, right? I don't have any sympathy for him, but I don't know. That's a tough topic. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, hey, the girl, the Kardashian, she made a joke and said, "Hey, Tom Brady, you'd be thanking me. My father got a lot of football players off." So I mean, she
get booed. Didn't she get booed when she went up?
She got booed. I don't know why, because I just saw a clip of it. She was talking about Kevin Hart and they were booing her, but I don't know. I missed why, so I got to go back and watch. Yeah, the jokes were ruthless, man. They were, but that's what I love about roast. And the thing I'll say is, it's comedy, and that's the part that upsets me sometimes. Like nowadays, you can't joke about anything because you're going to offend someone, or you're going to offend this, and you're going to be this insensitive, da 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 da. And at the end of the day, man, it's just jokes. It's just having fun. I mean, if you can't laugh at yourself, I mean, what's the matter with it? But so I was surprised that they did it, because it was pretty ruthless in a lot of the jokes, for today's times.
Well, did you see when they were what Kardashian did when she went up and they were booing her. She went, "Ah, you better shut up. I'm gonna break in half." It was something.
No, but Gronk was funny too, and they were making fun of him like he's a caveman. The way they're talking like a caveman. and then Robert Kraft was on there. It gave me flashbacks to Joe Namath. Robert Kraft was drunk as shit. He was slurring his words, and he was trying to had Bill Belichick and them come together, and it was just funny. He was drunk. Comedy's supposed to be rude. Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
I still watch Archie Bunker, Jefferson's, Sanford and Son.
Sanford and Son.
I mean, good time. But I watch all the old shows, man, and they're just funny. It's just like it's the old Chappelle skits and Living Color and all those. I mean, it's just like
it's good. It's humor. It's funny. It's meant to be funny. It's not meant to piss people off. It's not meant to, you're not purposely taking digs at people. It's funny.
Yeah,
right?
They were talking about. They showed a clip of Revenge of the Nerds, like flashback, and they were saying like Revenge of the Nerds would never be allowed to be made in today's time.
Remember the javelin toss?
Yeah.
Yes, you're right.
I mean, you watch it, and it's just funny, but they'd never allow. Yeah, Cat Williams is another one. My brother's gone to a lot of comedy shows, and now what they do is they take your phones, so you can't even have you have to lock up your phones.
Really?
Or because one, people probably don't steal their shit, and two, so people aren't posting a whole bunch of stuff, But
copyright infringement.
Yeah, but I mean, it's kind of. I mean, it's comedy. It's comedy. Like I said, it's.
Yeah, but you know what it is though.
It's so sensitive.
People. I know, and it is. It's again. It's in good fun. But did you see there was something that was said about Kraft that Brady got pissed off at and whisper. I know, Michael. You saw it. He whispered in somebody's ear.
Was it about a hand job?
Yeah, I don't know what. All I heard was, I don't know if it was serious or not. Brady said, "Don't say that again, asshole," or something like that. And I forget who it was. And Michael, if you saw the whole thing, you know what I was talking about. I saw something about that this morning. So
yeah,
Michael,
yes. Anyway, but it was good.
But to the point, you go to the restaurant anywhere. This enjoy the moment.
I don't like you go to concerts now and everyone has their phone recording a whole concert, like a music concert. It's like, dude, it sounds like shit on your phone. Just put your phone down. If you want to do a quick, like 10-second, whatever it is. Yeah, talking about the massage.
Jeff Ross, that's who it was. Okay, and he was talking about the massage.
Well, that's how Jeff Ross is. He's got no filter. So Jeff Ross, that don't surprise me. But
hey, I'm telling you, him and Deshaun Watson, they go to the same masseuse.
they probably do.
She's, what she's doing? She's doing the old ski poles. Yeah.
Oh man. Well, I've got to drive to Savannah tomorrow for work. So
Mike Tag will be in Savannah. Woo! With all the girls.
So I'll be there for a couple of days. And it's Savannah. It sucks because I got to go for work. It's too much of a pain in the ass to fly because you got to connect to Atlanta, then Atlanta to Savannah. It's not even worth it. No. And so it's 5.5 hour drive for me. So it's just like you just bite the bullet and just drive there. It's not even,
what is that? Like a 5 hour roughly?
5.5.
Yeah, that's a long drive. I mean, that's
it is. I just put on some music, put on a YouTube show, and
Uncle Luke.
Put maybe Uncle Luke. It's on my playlist. So we definitely got to get Uncle Luke in the cave. That's why I'm showing my support.
You pulling an overnight there? Or is it just
I drive in Tuesday, and then we've got our meetings on Wednesday, and then head back. I'll head back afterwards. Get home late Wednesday night, probably. All right. Well, it's too late, then I'll just I'll get a hotel. But more than likely, I could drive. I drive. I love driving, so I could. I drove from New Jersey to Tampa straight when we went up to see you that one time. It was like 23 hours or whatever.
Yeah,
it was. So,
I tried to do that on the way back. I might have hit a wall with my car.
Yeah, you've done that. Yeah. So, but anyway, hey, we're up over an hour, but just wanted to again thank everyone for checking it out, hanging with us. Like I said, we'll get you with the other sports, but it's a slow football time. It's a slow Cowboys time. So hopefully you guys like the power rankings. If you missed it, go back and check. Leave a comment. Let us know if any of the ones you disagree with. If you think I was too hard on my Cowboys, let me know. But I got to be honest. That's where it is. And if you thought I was too mean to Jimmy's Falcons, let me know. If they need to be a little bit higher, then we can do that. But definitely make sure you guys hit that subscribe, hit the share. Again, if you guys are watching us and, we're up over 100 on X and stuff. So if you're watching us on another platform, best way to support the channel is to hop on over to YouTube, hit that subscribe, hit the alert bell. That way you guys can always check us out. It definitely helps out. We've got some great giveaways when we get to 3,000 subscribers, and we're getting very, very close. We got a very cool Cowboy signed memorabilia from Bob Lilly, who was on our show, Mr. Cowboy. And if we can get to 5,000, it's a tall task. I'm going to be honest. If you get to 5,000 before the season starts, I got 2 tickets, my club seats that we'll be giving away. We'll be doing a giveaway, live giveaway. You have to be present to win for 2 of my seats for a Cowboys game next season. If not, we'll do it the season after. And definitely give a little love to Cuts by Jones. If you guys need a custom cut, you see the U behind me. You see the Mike Tag nameplate, things like that.
Yes.
Make sure you hit up Cuts by Jones on all social media platforms. He'll get you a custom cut, get you ready for the season, whatever season it is, baseball, basketball, hockey, football. He can do a cut for anything. He even did a
professional wrestling.
He did a screen cut. He did wrestling cut. He did movie stuff. He can do anything. The man's an artist and even a better person. So
did my family cut?
He is a family guy.
Yes,
he is a
upstanding citizen of the community.
Absolutely,
Michael. We appreciate.
Michael, I appreciate the love and thank you guys, everyone, for coming in. Jimmy, any final words for you?
No. You know what? Go Knicks, go Rangers. We can't wait to see you next Monday. You guys want to talk shit at me on X? Please do so. I love trash talking. Have a great week. Thanks everybody for coming out tonight. We always have fun.
Make sure you follow, if you're not doing it already, Jimmy. What is your Twitter handle to follow Jimmy?
It's Jimmy. It's Jimmy Dee. It got some numbers afterwards. Hold on one second.
444, I think it is.
Yeah, it's something like that.
You gotta work on
Jimmy Dee 4444.
There you go.
As in the 4 Horsemen.
Give Jimmy Dee a follow if you don't already, and on social media platforms. We'll be seeing you guys soon. Take care. Have a good week. Hopefully see you Thursday live back in the cave.
Give me somebody that's hungry. Give me somebody that's hungry. I need